Christmas tree fairy. I'll tell you an old Christmas story as we sit round the log fire at night, why each Christmas tree has a fairy on top, and why Santa's beard is so white.
It happened one winter night in England on a cold Christmas Eve long ago. There was Santa out doing his rounds and playing with sledge in snow.
He were taking old presents to houses, and then when that first job were done, he went round again with his fairies, putting Christmas trees in every one.
Now just when he thought he might finish, and last house were almost in sight, he went to fetch more trees off Toboggan, and he found there were 4 trees just white.
This discovery quite upset Santa, so he gave to his reindeer a shout, "What?" And he sent for his Christmas tree fairy to chastise her for leaving them out.
By gum, there's a daft little fairy, that's as daft as a fairy can be. When they packed up the sledge this evening, they must have lifted off some of the trees.
"Oh, bugger," replied little fairy, which were really quite unfairy-like. "I'll have to go back to the factory," and with that, she jumped on her back.
Hold on just a minute, cried Santa. There's a way that won't let you forget. Fetch 1 tree for each of your fingers, on right hand. You'll get it right yet.
Then off like a shot went the fairy, much faster than light of the sun, because Einstein hadn't yet been invented, so she wasn't to know it weren't done.
Now if you could have watched that little fairy, there would be trouble to come you could tell. But when she was counting her fingers, she counted her thumb as well.
Now Santa, he'd waited for hours, till his patience were running quite dry, till at last he saw fairy peddling for all she were worth through sky.
But as the fairy got nearer, Santa's anger grew more and more. He could see from the load she were bearing that she'd fetched him 5 trees instead of 4.
Then Santa got redder and redder, started roaring with all of his might, till the glow from his nose outshone Rudolph, and his beard, it began to turn white.
"Why, that's stupid," he yelled at the fairy. "That's 4 times as thick as I thought. Now go and put trees in last houses, and as soon as that's finished, report."
So straightway off went our fairy, and as soon as she'd finished last place, she brought 5th tree back to Santa, and waved it in front of his face.
"Whatever shall I do with this one?" was that innocent fairy inquired. So Santa, he upped and he told her, because by now we were getting quite tired.
The fairy, she looked up at Santa, and her face, it turned a mite red. But then, like the good little fairy she was, she went, and she did as he said.
So now at the end of my story, you'll see to quite this very night, each Christmas tree has a fairy on top, and old Santa's beard is quite white.
Now the moral, if ever you want one, is simply, when doing your sums, if you really must count on your fingers, don't forget to remember your thumbs.